And also news since 6, frustration over bus delays and overcrowding have reached a boiling point for hundreds of JCPS families here in town. JCPS leaders are preaching patience as they battle with driver shortages and consider schedule changes. WHS 1119's Isaiah Kim Martinez talked with parents taking matters in their own hands tonight. And Isaiah, is JCPS that they may have to cancel any routes or cut back on bus service?
Well, Doug, they're not at that point yet, although they're considering alternatives for fixes. We've known they've been very open about their struggles to hire, but some parents there are drawing the line, saying regardless, there are some situations younger students should never find themselves in.
It's an annual pairing. Bigger school districts often seeing it most.
Reapproach how we route buses, knowing that we weren't going to have as many drivers to cover those routes.
First weeks of classes marred with roadblocks for kids getting to and from.
Then afternoon, it took him 2 hours.
But Diliara Salim believes this year's JCPS bus conditions have hit an unacceptable new low.
He's only 5 years old, so he never experienced that before.
For kindergartners like her own, Omar, getting home more than 2 hours after dismissal, despite living inside 2 miles of his school.
Next day, I called the school. I said, I'm going to switch him over to the car ride.
Salim is among hundreds of parents sharing stories, some online, talking about students forced to stand up during routes because of a lack of space, others saying their kids waited, confused, without a message sent from schools to parents.
I'm home, but he's still not. And then I start worrying, like, why they're not arriving.
The school district's response.
We just ask for parents' patience and know that we are aware, we're addressing those.
Chief Operations Officer Chris Perkins tells me it's not for a lack of effort.
Enlisted the help of a lot of our local schools that have activity bus drivers.
They're short drivers, saying even adding $6 an hour to wages has still left gaps. JCPS leaders now even considering spreading out drop-offs, either adding a third bell time to the mix or
also looking at staggering arrival and dismissal times within those specific grade level schools.
Perkins says they'll do what they can to avoid canceling routes entirely. Meanwhile, from the parent side, many saying regardless,
45 minutes, I understand, but 2 hours, no. 2 hours is too much.
A standard must be upheld.
And I asked COO Chris Perkins what it would take to make those dismissal changes or to get to that point. He didn't give a threshold, instead saying they are planning and they've had conversations. He did mention, though, that there's a lot more momentum behind this now than a week ago. Doug.
All right, Isaiah, thank you very much.